Another Noco? Are you kidding me? This video is going to be published when this channel gets monetized. Or if you're seeing this now, it's been monetized. So one of my most popular videos on my channel is the Noco. It's GBX155. Your everyday booster pack. So, since that's the smallest of the fleet of the X series, I got the biggest. Just for shits and giggles. So I got the GBX155. What's that say on the box? I can't read it. 99 watt hour. Oh, we're going to test that. We're going to see how many watt hours or milliamp hours or whatever hours this thing's got. Because I know the 45 wasn't as, you know, they put a number on there, but it's not your everyday consumer power bank type numbers. And if you use this as a power bank, which you might, you're going to be like, well, I don't. This one's a big boy. So this one will start up to a 10-liter gas and an 8-liter diesel. This is a big boy. And he's brand new in box. We gotta cut all the pretty stuff off of it. Oh my god. Get all that stuff out of the way. And now we gotta crack into the box. Because there's all kinds of stuff. I don't want to open nice, so we're just going to hog and tear right into it. Because that's what happens with these boxes when you don't want to play nice. Get off my Noco. There. Don't want to play nice. Ooh. Look at the size of this sucker. Wow. Big. It's massive. Ugh. So you get all the foam padding, you get the little bag, and you get this is a non-PD USB-A to USB-C. So that is across the board of the whole line. They will not sell you, I don't know why, but they won't sell you the PD cord. And then we got the quick charge through your automobile. So I don't know if that is quick charge. We're going to test that. That's going to be a good experiment. And then you get the 1-inch thick manual in 4,500 different languages. So get that out of the way. Blah, 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 blah. These got nice big cords. These are nice and long. So these guys, what are these guys? These are big. These are what, 4 gauge? Yep, 4 gauge. Nice and soft. Nice. Oh, we got more packing. So we don't mar it. Oh, that's terrible. So just like the other one, it's we got our USB out ports, so we get dual USB A's out, and then we get one USB C for in and out, and then we got our light, so different modes of light. So you got high, low, high, medium, low, and then you get all the flashing and stuff like that. And alternating this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then we get the main power button here, and then we got all of our little lights. So we got our main power light that shows up. We got our reverse polarity. We got our cold pack. We got our hot pack, and you got the hey dummy light. And then we got our charge indicator. We got our 12-volt override button light that shows up, and then we got our overlight button. And then the most important, the PD light. I want to make sure that lights up when we're charging. And just like the GBX155, once you connect your battery and smash the power button, you got 60 seconds, then it times out. So, from the factory, we come 3/4 of the way charged. And just to test, to make sure that our charger here is not a non-PD charger, and so we'll connect the charger here in, and then we'll connect this to a PD powered power bank and see if she charges at any different rates. So we're at slow charge, 5.1 volts at 800 milliamps. Yeah, that's going to take a long time when these things are dead. And there is a flow chart, I think it's in the manual, of how long it will take to charge at, you know, your regular 5 volts, and it's ridiculously long. So our USB-C output is your typical 5 volts at 3, 9 at 3, 12 at 3, 15 at 3, and 20 at 3. So all your voltage is at 3 amps. And the USB-C in is up to 3 amps. So that's your PD power and all that good stuff. And then all your safety stuff in here. So, for your recharge time, if you're using a 10-watt charger, it'll take you 16 hours. If you're using a 5-watt charger, 32 hours. If you're using a 2.5-watt, 64 hours. 60 watts on your PD power, 2.7 hours. And you need a 60-watt PD charger to even entertain charging at 60 watts. And you need USB-C to USB-C to charge it at 60 watts for your 2.7 hour recharge time. And that's just the way it is. So now that we established that this is a non-PD cord, which is just another cord in my arsenal, let's try this thing to see what this thing charges at, because this is an unknown, because I never had one to charge. And conveniently, it's set up in a way where I won't be able to test that. That sucks. So I can't do it like that. Oh well. I'll have to figure out a way to charge this to see how many amps this thing is charging. Output. It'll go out to 5 amps, but I have no way of testing that at this time. Maybe I do. Let me turn this power supply on. I think I got a meter on this thing. Let's see what this sucker charges at. Oh, we do. we got our PD light. Let me unplug this so I can get an accurate light here. Let me turn this light off. So let's see, 1.5 amps. 2, 5, okay. So definitely you're going to get a quick charge through your cigarette lighter. So that's cool. That's cool as hell. So that's established. So you people who got the X series or any series with the PD charging, this is your quick charge, your cigarette lighter adapter. So that's established. So this and your USB-C is the only thing that's going to quickly recharge your Nocos. So that's awesome. So now, just like I did with my GBX155 and stuff like that, this has got all your safety stuff. So reverse polarity and shorting out. So if you turn this up, it gives you a little light here that flashes. The little warning light is going, hey dummy, there's something wrong. So, and then if you hook the battery up backwards, it's also going to yell at you. It says reverse polarity on the Noco. It says, hey dummy, you got it wrong. So I got this piece of crap little SLA. It's old, it's been frozen. I think it's only holding a couple of volts. Of course, I don't have a vehicle that's dead, so you know I can't perform that kind of test of jump starting a dead vehicle because I don't have, and I don't have the luxury of doing that kind of test for you people. So all I can do is test the battery here. So I'm at 6.4 volts. So we'll say that's a dead battery. But I'm curious to see how many amps will actually go into that, just for giggles. So hook this up to the correct way. And then we're going to hook up our amp clamp. Then we're going to power this sucker up and see how many amps goes through it. So this thing might be so dead, it may not even throw any kind of amperage in here. How about if I put it in override? Yeah, this thing won't take a charge at all. So that kind of sucks that I can't test the battery here. How about if we test this battery down here? Oh, look at that. We're sparking things. We're going sparky. How about you? Oh yeah, here we go. So we're up at 2 amps. How about override? We start at 2 amps? Yeah, 2 amps. So anytime you got like a low battery, and I would assume the lower the battery, because this one's almost charged down here, that it's going to have the capability of pumping out some serious amps, you know, before you decide to jumpstart your vehicle. So I did mention that on my GBX155, that, you know, before, if you run into a situation where, you know, you hook this or any jump pack up, there's going to be cases where even something like this, and at work, where I work, we have jump packs this big, and guess what? If the battery is so screwed up, like that one, or if it's got a broken plate in it, you're not starting your vehicle. That's just the way it is, because your battery is taking so much trying to recharge itself, and it's just going nowhere. So it literally sucks the crap out of this thing, and you won't start your vehicle. And of course, you got to have your battery connected to, after it's running, to keep it running. So it's a loop. It's part of the circuit. So something, and of course you can't use your Noco as a so-called battery because you'll blow it up. So with that said, the next test I'm going to be conducting, and it'll be at the end of this video, is I'll see how many milliamp hours we can use this as a power bank, and then we'll go from there. So one more thing I have to include in this video is I'm not a fan of these bags. I mean, they're okay, but we can do better. So let me get the next product. Be right back. So we have the next product. So I ordered these together this time, unlike my 45 where I had it for several months in the bag, but then discovered these little buggers, these little hard cases for your Nocos. And of course they only come in select sizes for your certain Nocos. So this is the GBC104, and this is a nice case for your Noco GBX155. Because these are really, really nice. Very nice cases. Just like my little 45. I mean, isn't that nicer than a bag? And everything is inside, and it's not rattling around, and that's not getting all scuffed to death and all that other good stuff. Then you get all the little propaganda for your quick charge. Amazingly, they advertise this as a quick charge, and we've established that. And then their overrated plug-in wall wart charger. So I already have debunked that. You don't need to buy their charger, their overrated charger, to recharge your Noco at high rates of speed. You can use any PD power charger, and it has to be 65 watts or greater. So don't entertain anything lower than 65 watts, because it will not even entertain the power delivery charging. So on the case there, we got a nice deep protective thing for your Noco, and then you got all your stuff where you can put all your good stuff, like your manual. You can stuff that in there, and then we can stick our good charger in there, and then we can button that up. And then we can take our prize and just to show you how it looks like what it looks like in the bag, it looks absolutely ridiculous. So it's, for me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, for some people, yeah. I mean, whatever it comes with, that's what they're used. But there's better. So this little guy, just then you got to figure out how he goes in there. Let's see. Let's try this way. Hey, that looks right. Then you stick all the wires in there, and after you're all done, you zip them up. And it's got double zippers, so that's really super nice. And then you keep this, you know, wherever you keep, whether it's in your car or your vehicle or in a shop or on a shelf, or if you got, you know, multiple of them, then you can put the little guy on top, and that's that, you know. So just a nice little thing to have for your Nocos. I think it's worth having them. I wish they would just sell them with it. I mean, I would not mind spending the extra money to, you know, have a nice case for it instead of a silly little bag. But that's just me. I mean, I know a lot of people are just like, well, you know, it's an added cost, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're not going to get anything back in return. And, well, actually, yes, you do. You get the protection. So, my next stage, and I'll include this on the end of this, or next segment, is we'll see how long this is good for as a power bank, how many milliamp hours. So stay tuned for the next segment. So we are back with the Noco, the GBX155. Just got done using it as a power bank. Now for the results of your real world numbers. So your real world numbers as a power bank, it's going to be 16,665 milliamp hours, or 16 and a half amp hours. So this great big thing has just a little bit more power than a standard power bank. So, but I mentioned this with my GBX45 is I don't consider this as a power bank. It's meant to be a jump starter. I mean, if you've got a dead phone and you need to charge your phone, then it's there. But as for a long duration power bank, you know, for the price of this thing, your standard power banks are better. So if we established, of course you need a way to charge this. And of course the cord that is provided for you, the Noco USB-A to USB-C, this is not a power delivery cord. So it's a waste of time to charge this, because it's going to take many hours. I think 63 hours or something like that. So that's well over 2 days on a standard USB charger. So that's not really an option. So you need a 65 watt PD power charger and your USB-C to C cable to charge this. But what's nice about this particular model is that it comes with its own cigarette lighter adapter, or power point adapter. to recharge your Noco at PD rate. So it's very nice to have this in case you don't want to spend the extra money to recharge it. But the thing is that you can charge this in your car or your truck or your van or your utility vehicle. Car needs to be running though. It needs that solid above 13 volts to have this going at full bore. Otherwise, it will not charge. The power delivery light will go on and off as the battery voltage goes up and down. So as it goes down to a certain point, it shuts off. Then it goes back to standard rate. And as the battery starts coming back up, it's going to take, then the PD power will come back on. So if you were to charge this from zero, it's going to take, that 2.7 hours to recharge it. So you're going to have your car running for 2.7 hours. So there's not a lot of people out there that are going to do that unless you're a fleet driver and your vehicle is always running. Then it's not a problem. But for an average consumer, yeah, you're not going to have your car idling outside for 2.7 hours, burning up gas to recharge your Noco. So that's just a fact to point out there. So now we're going to plug this in because I'm kind of curious to see how many amps goes into this thing at power delivery rate. Because this thing, it says it's rated to up to 5 amps max. Up to. So I doubt it'll give full 5 amps through this charge rate. So we're gonna test that. So I got a little test rig here of a power point that we're gonna plug in, and then we're gonna amp clamp it. So I'm going to hook this up to power here. So I'll just use some janky clips, well enough to carry up to 5 amps. So that's not a issue. So we'll drape this somewhere so it doesn't arc out and stuff like that. We don't get our little handy amp clamp out. And this thing is bone dead. I mean, the little light flashes, ding, ding, ding. It says, I'm dead. So we'll set this up to DC. And then we will connect it. And then turn the power on. And let's see, what are we up to? We are up to 3.7 amps, 3.8 amps. We got our little light on, and we're charging. So 3.8 amps, so you get an amp better than your power delivery at 2.7. So it's going to charge quite quickly, even at the higher rate. And of course, when the thing is charging, it's going to go up to a point where it's going to start slowing down on its own anyway. So we established that. For some strange reason, this thing must have a little battery issue. Because I'm trying to hold it and it doesn't want to behave. So just to show that it is charging at yeah, there's something weird going on here. Must be the batteries must be going bad. But it's 3.8 amps. And there you have it. So a 16.5 amp hour power bank and The included charger goes up to a pretty hefty amperage, even better than USB-C uh, wall wart. So that's pretty cool. Now that it wants to behave. 3.86 amps. It might even go up a little higher as the battery starts coming up, because it's all part of the charge algorithms in there that says we'll juice it to a certain point to get it warmed up, and then we'll give her the beans, and then as it comes up to full charge, it says, okay, we'll slack off a little bit. So that's all there is to say for the charging aspect of this. In a separate little test at work where I am at, we got like two of these, not this particular model, but the same size, boost pack. And just for shits and giggles, I hooked up one to a 500 amp carbon pile load tester, and hooked up the clamps, and I gave her the beans. I mean, I put it right up. And really the only amperage I could get out of it was about 400 amps. So, you get all these little silly numbers on there, like this one is a 4,250 amps. Well, first of all, you're not going to get 4,000 amps running through, 4-gauge wire. It's not going to happen. And on top of that, the PCB in there, even though it's all beefed up with extra wire and solder on the traces in there, it ain't going to support no 4,000 amps for any long duration. And most likely the circuits in there would blow up if it were to get up that high. But it's just one of them. I tested it on one of them carbon pile things that you can get on Amazon. They're like $80 or something like that. At some ridiculously low price. Just like the GBX155, you're not gonna get no 1,200, 1,250 amps out of this thing. It ain't gonna happen. It's just enough amperage to start your car, providing that the battery has some charge in it. But as for trying to draw that amount of current, it ain't gonna happen. I mean, unless you have something to physically draw that, something that's stronger. There's probably really strong carbon pile load testers out there, but I only had access to a 500, and I was lucky to get 400 out of it. And even if I tested it, and then I recharged the pack again, and then the next day I tried it again, and that's all I could get out of it. It was about 400 amps. So something like this, you might get just enough cranking current, as a normal battery, 800 or something like that at tops. But there's been a lot of videos on YouTube and stuff like that saying that after they blow it up or something like that, and something internally shorts out, drawing that amount of current. So these things are just rated for just enough current to start your car. And it's only going to be a few seconds that you're actually cranking on it. I mean, unless you have a crank no start type vehicle where you're cranking the living crap out of that. First of all, you're not going to get that amount of crank time, like a normal battery, because I used one of these things to start a piece of machinery, and a small 16 horsepower 2-cylinder small engine, air-cooled engine, and I was only able to crank that thing, maybe 5-8 minutes before this thing drew down too low to even be worth trying to crank it over. So, a 16 amp hour, battery that's inside, it's not like a car battery where you're going to get, 45, 50 amp hours. This is only 16, so you're only going to be cranking on it for so long before even the booster pack dies. And, you know, like I mentioned on my GBX155, there's going to be issues where even this thing is not going to boost your car if the batteries are dead, or if you got dual batteries and one is just drawing the living crap out of the other one and then it's drawing the crap out of this one. You're not going to have any success of bump starting your car if you're trying to crank it. Same thing if your battery has bad plates in it. You know, there's times where your battery may have a broken plate in it and it's only giving you a surface charge. It says, oh, well, it says 12 volts, but as soon as you crank on it, it breaks. And because the current is too high, it breaks the connection inside the battery. And then this thing tries to take over, and sometimes it's not enough. So just something that you need to be aware of with these boost packs, you know. And then, you know, like these are a name brand pack, and there's other name brand packs, but I trust these more than other Chinese type packs with the little blister thing on the end of the cables that supposedly give you, you know, extra boost or stuff like that. It's all silly stuff. It's just a pass through. That's all it really is, you know, to keep and it's just bypassing the whatever circuits that are in there just to give you full. Basically, you're going direct battery to battery. So, lipo pack to lead acid and trying to start your car. So, and even them things, you know, there's all kinds of channels out there that took them things apart after they fail, and then they're all burned up or melted inside. So, you know, some of them may be good. Probably most of them are bad, and especially, you know, the ones that are, you know, under $50 or something like that. So, you know, if you want a good name brand battery, you know, and even these things, they do have a tendency to blow up every once in a while. It's just the nature of these things. I mean, yeah, they're going to fail, and you know, especially if you're abusing it, you know, cranking and cranking and cranking, and you got a crank no start type vehicle, you know, or you're cranking a vehicle with no gas in it and stuff like that. Of course, you're going to either wear this thing down quickly or blow it up or not have any success. So that's enough for me rambling on. And you know, if you're in a market of getting a boost pack, you know, get a name brand one. And if you're into the Noco series, look for one with the 12 volt plug. It's at least you can charge it up quickly after you used it to boost your vehicle, or you charge it up on your way back from your rescue or stuff like that. But otherwise, like I mentioned, the USB-A to USB-C cable, it's not a PD power. And if you do want to charge it at home or in your garage or in your shop, you're going to have a PD wall wart charger, 65 watts or greater, to entertain the PD power delivery charging inside these Nocos that have that feature, because not all of them have that feature. And that's it for this video, so we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.